The morning sun, warm on my back, felt like a brand as I slipped through a gap in the bamboo fence. The bushes lining the path offered little cover, but anything to avoid the judging eyes near the Masamune clan complex's main gate. Elder Fei would have a fit if he knew I was sneaking out. 2 hours of kneeling in Caesar position, stuck with both legs tucked under me, listening to lectures about a clan leader's courage. I knew that. But right now, facing anyone felt impossible. No one said it to my face, but the whispers followed me like shadows. This past month, I'd become the hottest gossip in town. Hey, did you hear? That Tadashi, the Masamune heir in the accelerated class. He totally bombed the academy exams. What? Seriously? Yeah, my little sister's in his class. Everyone else took it last month. Results are out, he's the only one left. And the graduation ceremony's like next week. Wasn't he supposed to have skipped, 3 grades? Well, maybe they let him, but he's just not ready. I heard his cousin's been working the teacher's council non-stop. Oh right. Anko, right? The royal commander's kid, the genius one? Isn't she his mentor too? See? Total advantage. Having your own family as a teacher. Anko must have been boosting his grades all along. Maybe Tadashi's just clueless? Like, completely blanked on the final? How embarrassing. Heard his dad even went to the school. Probably trying to bribe the principal. Haha, I don't know how these rumors spread outside the clan. The Masamunes even had a dedicated gossip monger, paid to control these things. She was supposed to shut down anything negative about us. But now, everyone knew. Outside the complex, I got stares of pity. Inside, it was pure anger. Hey, why's Tadashi just taking it? Our clan's reputation is going down the drain. I don't get it. He's not even clan leader yet, and he's already messing up this bad. What happens when he actually takes over? We'll be crushed. Why aren't the elders doing anything? Replace him. They say he wasn't even the best candidate. How'd he even get chosen in the first place? Well, you know, the leader's pet. Who knows what kind of favors he's been pulling with the elders. Spoiled rotten, that one. I wiped the cold sweat from my brow. Spoiled? Since I was 5, father had me training day and night, on top of all my clan duties. When I entered the academy, he'd requested Anko as my mentor, but she never went easy on me. If anything, her training was harder than the other teachers. More tasks, more pressure, all while keeping up with my clan obligations. Every Saturday night it was the same, clan meetings. The elders hated seeing me idle. Always another errand to run, another task to complete. Barely time for family, let alone friends. Sleep was a luxury, meals something to be squeezed in. I worked 10 times harder than anyone, yet it was never enough. Criticism and lectures were my only rewards. A shiver ran down my spine. What if Elder Han caught wind of the rumors? He was obsessed with the clan's reputation. My humiliation would be his entertainment for the next year. Honestly, I was at my wit's end. I'd asked Anko countless times when I could retake the exams, but each time her answer was the same, curt and dismissive. No news from the teacher's council. Be patient. But my patience had run out weeks ago. The mere thought of the exam sent a spike of pain through my skull. Lately, even finding Anko, or father, or any of the elders had become a challenge. They were always conveniently absent when I needed them, and ever since I'd reported the exam delay, the clan meetings were off limits. Guards at the main hall turned me away without a second glance. It was all so suspicious. Were they planning something? What was going on? Conveniently absent when I needed them, and ever since I'd reported the exam delay, the clan meetings were off limits. Guards at the main hall turned me away without a second glance. It was all so suspicious. Were they planning something? What was going on? Hey, watch out! My hand shot out, pulling a pedestrian back just as a horse-drawn carriage thundered past. The girl, about my age, wore a kimono emblazoned with the Masamune clan crest. Relief flickered in her eyes, then vanished as she recognized me. "Don't touch me, you idiot!" She ripped her arm free, her face burning with shame. Without another word, she fled. Have I become that despicable? No one else had heard her words, but I still felt my cheeks burn. It wasn't the first public humiliation, and each one stung worse than the last. I resisted the urge to hide my face. Weakness was not an option, not for a Masamune. I blinked, looking around. The market, just a few alleys from the academy. The bystanders who had witnessed my humiliation were now openly pointing and whispering. Head down, I plunged into the crowd, desperate to escape their judgment. Anko. She was my only hope. Today, I would get some answers. Luckily for once, she was in her office. When I knocked, she looked up from a mountain of scrolls, her face brightening. Tadashi. Maybe, just maybe, she had good news. "Hi, Anko," I said, trying to match her cheer. "Your graduation exam mission has finally come through," Anko said, waving a scroll in the air. My stomach dropped. That didn't sound good. She unrolled the parchment, revealing a message written in stark official script. I broke the seal, my eyes skimming the words. 3 times I read it, hoping each time the words would magically change. They didn't. Escorting Princess Kaguya to the Fumo Kingdom? My voice was barely a whisper. My fingers traced the official academy seal, as if that could somehow make this all a bad dream. Why was I given a mission like this? My classmates were out there building irrigation channels, fixing bridges, things with minimal risk of being murdered. I'd have gladly traded places with any of them. But this was a suicide mission in disguise. Sure, it wasn't explicitly stated, but with my current skills, what were the chances I'd actually survive this? Dread coiled in my gut. Was this some elaborate scheme to get rid of me? It's a bit unusual, yes, Anko admitted. Normally, this kind of task would go to a more experienced ninja. But your father insisted. Of course he did, so it wasn't a plot from the academy. This was an elder-approved scheme. There were a few who openly despised me, who saw me as a threat to their own ambitions. But an elder's order meant this had been discussed, debated, and ultimately agreed upon. Father sometimes went against their wishes, but when it came to my future, my training, they were usually on the same page, which meant... My eyes started to Anko, my last hope. She'd always been the voice of reason, shielding me from my father's and the elders' more outlandish ideas. Surely she'd objected to this, right? The paperwork took ages, Anko continued, oblivious to my internal panic. Your father had to pull a lot of strings, get the palace on board with the timeline. The palace? So Anko had agreed to this. Why else would father go to such lengths? I sank back onto my heels, carefully rolling up the mission scroll. Father, he'd always dreamed of elevating our clan's status, and this was it. Successfully escorting a member of the royal family? That would erase any whisper of my supposed incompetence. This was the highest honor a clan could receive, a mission usually reserved for the most elite warriors. But for me, a 15-year-old kid with barely any real-world experience, to pull this off. The Masamune name would be etched in legend. Problem was, I was nowhere near ready. Sure, the elders had sent me on missions with the elite teams, but as an observer, not an active participant. I'd learned a lot, but I hadn't even mastered our clan's ultimate technique yet. I gripped the scroll tighter, my knuckles turning white. This mission was too much. I couldn't do this. Anko was watching me intently. I knew better than to complain, to refuse an elder's direct order. But after 8 years, she knew me better than anyone. Don't worry, she said, her lips curving into a reassuring smile. You won't be alone. I'll be with you every step of the way. Relief washed over me, so potent I almost sagged with it. Right, Anko was coming. This wasn't so bad after all. With her by my side, maybe Maybe we could pull this off. Be ready tomorrow, bright and early. We leave at dawn. I nodded, scrambling to my feet. Yes, Anko, there was so much to do. Weapons and supplies to gather, a route to plan, contingencies upon contingencies to account for. The princess's life and the Masamune clan's honor rested on my shoulders. No pressure. Leaving the academy, I walked taller, my steps lighter despite the weight of the mission. I had no choice but to face this head-on. The sun felt warm on my face, and I took a deep breath, steeling my resolve. Father, I won't let you down. I will make you proud.